Echoes of Color.
Hello, this is Echoes of Color, and today we're going to be talking about amplified voices and how queer voices are being amplified within the Nigerian space. How we appreciate our artists who seemingly are queer or perceived to have a different or a divergent sexual orientation. I have two persons here who are creatives within their space. They are talented and they have so much to show the world. But is Nigeria the best space for them to actually exude their best? Hello, guys. Good to meet you. I have with me here Onome Ochara. He is a social media influencer, an all-round socialite, and one who is so creative within the space and the work that he does. Secondly, I have Odi. Odi is a singer-songwriter, a human rights activist, and a creative expressionist. Hi, good to have you guys here with me.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Right? So, we all know what creativity is like in the world. And then when we bring it down to our country, there are certain things that limit us. Say, for instance, when we talked about fashion in one of the episodes, we talked about how fashion can be limiting and how it can be liberating. But for you, how have you been able to exude your creativity here? What's it like to be queer and a creative in Nigeria?
I'll start by saying that just understanding, just for the fact that I've been a human rights activist over the years before I started exploring my creative side, it helps to understand the social context, the legal context, just understanding some of those barriers that exist. And also kind of like it's been put there to kind of suppress our lived experiences, but being a creative artist, specifically using music as a form of expression, has helped to share our stories and also just put the truth forward and just also share to the world and Nigeria that we are here, our lives matter and our voices matter, and it's important that people hear the stories and also see a representation of what it looks like to be queer in Nigeria.
Amazing. Should you want to say anything?
In addition, I just feel like I've been able to like showcase my talents more and making people understand that okay, being queer is not just about the sexual parts. We also have the creative part of us, and actually they should actually look at the creative part before thinking about the sexual part, because we have a lot of things to offer, a lot of context to bring into the world, but because of how the conception they have about us, we tend to like pipe down. So
Okay, so I think it would be easy to kind of express my question through asking Onome how you run your social media content. Would you say you express your queerness through your cross-dressing and the kind of videos that you put up online, or how would you say you express your queerness?
yes, I express my kindness through my cross dressing and my kind of videos I put online, because um when I cross dress I become very free and be
It's
able to,
liberating.
yes, exactly, that's the word. So the content allowed me to express my full potential.
Great. Odi.
So I think that when it comes to music, like it's you're in the safe space of your comfort space, right? Where you're creating and doing all of the creative works. Before it gets out there, so many things have gone into the process. Like you're also trying to look for the right producers to work with, people who are non-discriminatory. At some point we had to set up like a home studio, right? Like to just find a kind of, let's just say, the space where you can just share the lyrics and then the songwriting that goes into it. But I think that being able to put music out there on major streaming platforms, which are sometimes not controlled by the Nigerian media, kind of helps. And so we have the songs on Apple Music, Spotify, and all of that. And so that kind of helps, which it's not just available to the Nigerian audience as well, also to international audiences as well. But I must say that it had been a big struggle just navigating through, like getting through the production process of it all. Yeah.
Wow. So, when we talk about laws, talk about societal expectations, and talk about censorship, do you, have you ever been in a situation where your content has been or your music has been censored basically because people perceive it to be too queer in nature or to have elements of queerness that do not sit right with them?
Personally, I haven't experienced that. And like I said before, like because I had my music put out on the global streaming platforms. Yeah, so I didn't experience that, but I struggled with I had a PSA on IPV, which
Yeah.
I was a part of the people that supported the process, and I was trying to boost the video on YouTube, but I struggle with that a lot, and I'm not sure, like I'm not 100% sure what the issue was, but he kept telling me that this post is not eligible for posting, and that's just where I am. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was. I'm not saying that was the case, but I really am not sure what.
No, but I'm not trying to create a conspiracy out of
Exactly, but I kept.
Let's just get that a bit more.
This is not eligible for boosting.
Why? Did it have anything to do with the geolocation?
That is what I'm saying. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, I probably needed somebody who had better experience in terms of like handling the social media spaces to sort that out. But but I was very careful to say that the age limits that this video should be shown to should be people who's like 18 and above. Well, I still kept getting like this video is not eligible for promotion and all of that, and so that's just the only challenge I've had. Other than that, like, smooth sailing.
I think you should try maybe having someone pay for you from another part of the country.
That could be it.
Maybe that could work.
Yeah. Maybe because of the legal restrictions in Nigeria.
Yes. Yeah. Paying online and stuff like that. How about you, online?
Well, I've not really experienced that, but I know a lot of creators who have experienced something like this. Most times they tend to report the account and then bring down the account. Or sometimes they comment comments on the comment section, this, that, and they come in a group to report the account. And imagine all this hard work for over the years, maybe like 700 followers goes down. That sometimes the account can come back, but it's the possibility of it coming back is very thin. So,
okay, great.
what I do normally, if I get hate comments, I reply with
love and light.
You
love it.
Are you sure? You reply with love and light?
Yes, because it's on the comment section, but it's not. As I'm commenting love and light, it's told that fire you. I have to pull love and light. Or just smile and say, no, this is not what you think, or just to make them know, because they have become very crazy when it comes to reporting of accounts.
Great. But how then do you manage safety and visibility? I think it will probably you put most of your work out on a global level, which we're still going to talk about, but it then kind of shifts attention from like in terms of the Nigerian focus, meaning most of your audience wouldn't be Nigerians except persons who actually access that platform and maybe stumble onto your page or directly go seek you out online. But for you, Onome, you live in Nigeria, you work in Nigeria, half of your contents are shot on the street, a lot of people get to see you. I won't lie, there was the time we were supposed to shoot a particular content together, and we were like, we're going to, I said, I'm not going to the street. I said, I'm not going to the street, though. And that's okay, let's go into the estate. We went to the estate, when we got there, they're like, oh yeah, I said, no, don't worry, just that was how you went to that village. I don't know what, into the bush. I don't know what, I can't remember the song. When we were in that Lekki Palm City estate in Lagos.
Okay. I remember.
I said, no, I'm not going. So, Onome, how do you navigate safety and visibility in the same vein?
Before, my content is very crazy. I don't like dress up very proper. I dress up very abnormal.
So that's deliberate.
So people will like, okay, he's not properly dressed up. He's still got his belt on. Okay, it's probably for entertainment. This is not really who he is. So that one is one of the aspects I use in.
So they don't see like some mad woman coming up from nowhere and making a nuisance of themselves.
And then aside from that, if I'm going out on a normal regular basis, I dress up properly. I go out, and then sometimes people don't really recognize me until they look at me very well and say, "Oh, I think I know you from so thing." So basically, that's what I do for safety and visibility.
Amazing. When we talk about visibility, we talk about representation, and when we talk about representation, it means that basically every aspect, the diversity of the world needs to be represented one way or the other. We have like in the Hollywood space now, if you notice, most of these old films, when they're having a remake, it's either they put a black spin on it or a Latino spin on it. Like I think the last project for Terminator, it now had like a Latino background to it. So when we talk about representation, How do you see today's media, specifically in Nigeria? Do you feel there's some certain level of representation? Do you watch the TV and you be like, okay, what is generally accepted? Say, for instance, one of the most pivotal points of my own career as an entertainer in this space was dancing at Nigerian idols in heels. And that was like the first time ever. Even in the studio, when it was time to rehearse, if other groups were rehearsing, nobody would be like, they'll just be pressing their phone. But once it's, but everybody, even this guy, the batch was there, everybody was like, every time there's a rehearsal, they are all like, oh, we want to see that. So, I mean, for somebody who aspires to, be an entertainer and sees that as something that is part of the things they want to do, that's some form of representation. Like, okay, I see myself on the screen. Do you think these days, today's media for corporations, do you think there's enough visibility, and what kind of stories are missing within within the media today?
I think I'd like to say that Nigeria loves everything related to being queer representation. I mean, bloggers are using it to chase clout, to get comments, to get reactions on their traffic. Nollywood, for instance. However, there's some sort of representation, but most times it's in a negative light, which is why it's very important for queer creatives to step into this. Step us to provide that positive representation. Like, what's that? It's not all the time that our stories are sad. We're not always victims. We're not always like, well, people.
And we're always not with the predator.
Like, exactly.
And it's not always the case of pedophilia.
Exactly. And so it's important for queer creatives to come into this space just to show the good side of our queer lives, like the lived experiences, queer joy, love. Like, we exude lots of love, we exude lots of peace. Like, we're not bothering people. It's people coming for us, not we coming for people, right? And so I think that it's very important for us that we continue to bring that representation to the forefront. And as we do it as queer creatives, most times we do it in our kind of like minority spaces, but it's important to bring these things to the forefront, like bring it into mainstream, like mainstream Nollywood, mainstream music industry, and let's have that true representation of what it truly is for queer Nigerians.
Great.
Yeah.
What about you, Anome? Was this one like, oh, I saw that video, oh my god, and I love the way Ramsey played that, but I think I'm going to do the same thing. Do you see yourself in that light, or this was just born out of your own inspiration?
Oh, well, I think I see myself in that light because recently I think that actually Nollywood world is trying to impute queer characters into them. At least one or two or three movies I've watched. I know I've seen some feminine character there, but most times what they do is there to gossip. Yes, so they're always the one that is always gossiping, or the one that is always teaching the girls how to be bougie and how to be this and that and that and that.
Great. So now, remember I said as we were going to talk about global platforms. How has that been easy for you, and why did you resort to global platforming your work?
I think it's more of to avoid censorship, to avoid sort of the local regulations that exist with of course you understand the legal landscape with Nigeria. And so I think it was more of an easier route, but also because Nigerians also have access to those global platforms, right? And so it wasn't a way of staying putting out content outside of the Nigerians' reach. It was to put out content that is actually accessible to Nigerians, but on a global platform without having to deal with the local restrictions. And so that was just an easier route to go to.
So you're telling me that if you put your work on YouTube, you probably won't get it.
YouTube is also a global platform. I kind of evaded like the local radio station. Like there will be lots of regulations in terms of censorship. Like this cannot go on online. Like, oh, let's censor these words out and stuff like that. And so the global platforms were just
great. Thank you very much for that. So now when we talk about tokenism, you've seen it work within the program space, where a project is coming, or people are being asked to be part of a project and they're saying how much you go pay, and you're wondering, this is for your own benefits. You're asking how much you are going to give me to come and benefit and get educated and sensitized. I think that kind of poses a bit of a fundamental problem, don't you think so?
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, how do we amplify voices without particularly tokenizing them? Meaning placing emphasis on what is to be beneficial financially than what's to be beneficial in terms of enlightenment and broadening of one's horizon. So how do we amplify queer voices without tokenizing them?
Okay, I was going to say that there's a bit of a dilemma in sense of while we want the voices of our people to be represented, I think that the early days of programming kind of like set the tone exactly for this kind of vibes. But I think that it's also important that we need to keep sensitizing the committee members to say that what queer creators are doing, what organizations are doing, it's for the benefit of their lives, to improve their lives. And as much as sometimes we have to deal with the issues of reporting and targets, and then I think that that's where tokenizing sort of kind of sets in. But it's important that we continue to sensitize the community members that this is to improve your lives and how it is important for queer creatives to also reflect true realities. And so if we don't hear the actual stories from you, we don't get to interact with you to learn what is going on ground. We are also living with the community. We also kind of get to hear and know what is going on. But sometimes just interacting with one or two more people or having a focus group discussion can help you to gain more insight of the lived experiences. And we would consider that to share the true realities of what exists in the country, but not at the expense of tokenizing. I think that it will be nice to have people, the support from the community as well. Say if they should know that this is something that is going to benefit the community at large.
Yeah.
Great. Do you want to say something about that, Onome?
No, I think he finally said everything. One of the key word is sensitization to the community. I believe it won't do that. Everything can fall in place.
Okay, so when we talk about tokenizing representation, I wanted to marry two things together because we see, particularly for Nome, we see online how almost everybody is cross-dressing now for content. How for you to be funny, you have to either ridicule the queer person or do something funny in that light. Now, how do we, or do you feel, particularly, do you feel that this is something that might be a problem, or it's safe enough as queer persons to hide under that guise and say, so far it's for the internet and everything accrues?
Yeah.
Do you see that as everything accrues, or you see it as something that is coming to actually ruin lives of persons who are non-binary within the space? Or you think this is something that is safe for people to actually continue and queer persons can hide under?
Oh, well, I think it's actually becoming a problem because it's looking like everybody wants to cross dress, even the ones that are not comedians. You know, there's a difference between you cross dressing for comic relief and for you cross dressing for fun, or using that as an umbrella to hide under. Oh, it's for let me cross dress and see if I'm doing comedy, but I'm not a comedian. It will affect the actual comedians who are cross dressing to make their content funny. Because if you look at it here, a lot of queer people are now cross-dressing online and hide under the umbrella of comedy. But deep down, they're not comedians. They're just using that as a camouflage. And it's going to affect the real comedians because they will not see all of us as we're all like a joke to the community. So I feel like if you're not really a comedian, you shouldn't be cross-dressing online. Except you are doing that for your like it's your lifestyle. And once you want to do it as your lifestyle, you have to do it well. You can't just dress up anyhow and say it's your lifestyle.
Or have stories that are ridiculing the spirit.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because there's a lot of people out there that are doing that just to ridicule us. Mostly some of the straight guys to do that. And those kind of straight people now, some queer people might want to make other advances to this. And them too will try to play along just to fish out somebody and then bring it to the public, because a lot of stories have come online where some straight people that are also cross-dressing gets messages from other guys and they try to play along just because they want to screenshot and post and make it as content again.
Oh, no. Or does it ever get to violence?
I've not heard a story on that, but the only violence is always online. I'm going to do this. If I catch you, I'll break your head, and that's it. Or no physical.
I was going to say that, you know how they say in entertainment, no publicity is bad publicity, right? And for me, like, I felt like the cross-dressing rave among content creators, comedians, whether straight or queer, it's kind of also adding to the visibility that we need. I feel like it's starting to normalize it a little bit.
From that point.
Yeah, it's starting to normalize, and so people tend to see it as, oh, you're just doing it for content. But then it also kind of like, it gives room to give the representation or more visibility for content creators. And I can understand if, but I think that would be a personal problem if it's a queer person reaches out to a straight comedian, please deal with it on your space. Straight people have been reaching out to queer women for ages, and queer women have dealt with it. They should learn to deal with it. Yeah, let's serve them in the shop they want to. But I mean,
I get your point where you say visibility is also important because the more it's out there, the more
exactly, the more it's normalizing it, and it becomes
I think that's only being normalized.
yeah.
Like, because even if I go out there to make content, so I got comedians and
Automatically they laugh.
Like you're now, people can now do this in the marketplaces, like public places,
actually
without
you
feel
can do it even where
dressing like based on
area boys who can send to you. They're like,
Yeah, but then when the clothes are off,
yeah.
yes, that's,
and you require to be taken seriously,
Yep.
does that kind of courtesy come to you?
Yep. That's very valid.
Yes, because
that's very valid because that one.
Very valid. Because people just look at you as the content creator in the regalia that you're putting on at that time, and once that thing comes off, and then you're like, oh, it's still the same character, then
Yeah.
it becomes homophobia.
Yeah, so
like
most times
that's a bit cringy. I think just gonna stay over there.
also yeah, so that thing you're doing, you're actually
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, within the queer community, we've had a lot of people who have championed the norms, who have broken barriers. An example was myself and the two others, Aquafina and Bright, who we did Nigerian Idol together. Who would you say are your unsung heroes within this space? The so-called legends, people that have like, do you have any? Have there been any inspiration, or who kind of inspires you to want to do more based on what they've already done?
My unsung heroes, I have a long list, and they are very unsung in the sense of like underground. I know that we have a big problem in Nigeria, which is like also recognizing our queer history, who are some of our leaders, some of those people that paved the way for some of us who are activists now. But in this time and space, I also want to recognize the underground people who are working to allow queer creatives to be visible and represent the production crew here, for instance, the people who are working so what your content creating, like your video makeup artist, your who's producing my music, who's editing them, and the people who are sharing them on their platforms. And I think that it's just important to celebrate that, but also we necessarily need a queer history.
And our own Walk of Fame.
Yes, we really need that.
Also Hollywood Walk of Fame.
to those that normally use they advertise their products with themselves. Mostly the makeup artist, a male makeup artist or a male fashion designer that does female dresses. They do the makeup on themselves and wear the dress on themselves and advertise it. That's another way of visibility. Well, we don't. Most of them have millions of followers on almost all social media platforms, and they're well recognized. And some of them have actually grown so big that they actually now work on the fashion runway, GT fashion, and the next.
So who out of these people have been kind of inspired you to do what you do? Or should you feel oh, I'm stuck in a rut, what would this person do? Oh, then go and check their page or then ask some questions.
Yes, there are a lot of them. There are a lot, like a lot of. Well, I don't want to mention.
We don't out people.
Okay, so
I have them
Next
contact now. Sisters. But there are many, so they inspire me a lot because I see what they do, and they do it so good, and they've gone far with it, and the community in general has accepted them. So if they can accept them, why can't they accept us?
So they always say the great ones are not famous and the famous ones are not great. How, like, I think that kind of directly reflects to persons within the per community when we know people who have extraordinary talents, but because of the kind of politicization of the entertainment industry and the segregation, the isolation, this person will never make so much headway. But this individual, just because they conform, because we know a lot of queer persons that they kind of distance themselves from their community just so that they can get ahead in life. For us as human beings, we come into this world to want to leaving a legacy behind. What kind of legacy with your art as a queer person do you want to leave behind?
I think for me, the legacy would just be that truth was told through my voice.
Yeah.
That truth was told through my voice. Like the our lived experiences was told. We shared stories of our community members, and I hope that it wouldn't die with me. I feel like I hope that people, community members, would take it up. I understand how limiting it could be when you come out as a queer creative. Like you could conform and get into mainstream global platforms, but just being a queer creative also just limits your space. And we know how queer creatives are the ones who are behind most of the superstars that we have, like with hairdressing, makeup, songwriting, choreography, stage management, and all of that. It's usually like queer creatives who are behind those superstars. But just choosing to be a queer creative can also be a limiting experience. I hope that in our lifetime we'll also come to a place where queer creatives get to mainstream
And excel.
and excel, right?
Visibly.
If it doesn't happen, let it be known that we do the stories, we share the experiences, we share the true lives of the people, and in a positive light, most importantly.
Great.
Make the legacy want to leave, Abi?
I don't know, don't kill me.
So I'd like to leave a legacy where people from the community in particular will be able to express themselves through art, through comedy, through dress ups, and then also through the media. That's one legacy I want to leave, because I know that a lot of people are also actually looking up to me, which I don't even know. A lot of them are looking up to me that, oh, I need this person. I would like to be as bold as he is, and I like to be as free as he is. So that's one of the things I'm actually looking up to for them. So basically, that's what I want them to do.
Great, thank you. Any last few words for both of you for us?
Um, be free, very free.
That free. There's free and there's free.
Be very free, and then also I want people to like know their rights and be able to stand out for themselves and be able to defend themselves when they know that they are not at fault. Not when you're at fault, you're not trying to defend yourself. Don't say I'm the one at $20. If you're not at fault, defend yourself very well. Just know your fundamental rights.
Great, thank you, Lama.
For me, I mean, I love to encourage other queer people to develop themselves personally. Like self-awareness is very important. Self-development is very important. Take up spaces, please. Like let your voices be heard. Be in meaningful conversations that is going to stir up change and make the world a better place for other queer people. I'm hoping that our generation will not fail to make the world a better place, but if it does, please, people should not lose the courage to continue the fight and just be strong to continue pushing forward.
Thank you, Odi.
It will be worth it.
Yeah. So freedom to live, freedom to express yourself, freedom to be your authentic self. That is what this episode has been about. Talking about you in your creative space, exuding the most that you can, using what you have as a talent to change the world, to create change, to create legacy, to build new persons, to build a tradition, to build a norm. That is what this episode has been about on Echoes of Coral. Thank you for staying tuned, and it's beautiful to have you guys again with us to the next episode. My name still remains Abao Miaka, signing out.
Echoes of Color.